Welcome back to the 24th Annual Wild and Scenic Film Festival. I'm your host for this segment, Kimberly Ewing. It's my delight to be here. I am so inspired. Activism and great inspiration is what we're all about here. We're here at Nevada City Winery hosting the Media Lounge, and I am delighted to be here with Gabriel Diamond. He's the producer. Yay! He's the producer not of one, but of four. The Congress, Arubara,
Mancolona.
Thank you. Mancolona and Soaking the Ground. Welcome, Gabriel.
Thanks so much.
You are a
Kimberly.
busy man.
It's true. It's true.
4 films. You're here. How has it been going so far?
I'm feeling just so inspired and lit up by the films I've been watching and the filmmakers I've been meeting and this incredible location.
This is not your first time to the Wild and Scenic?
I was here in 2018 with another film that I shot and helped direct, and it's like a reunion to be back here.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I mean, 4 movies. How did that happen? How did it happen?
You know, it happened by delegating.
Okay.
In a lot of ways, by stepping back and saying it's not actually me that has to do the travel and has to hold the camera, but to give other people those opportunities. So I've had this incredible role for about 13 years.
Amazing.
Working as a filmmaker for a foundation, and it was dream come true kind of a job of like, I get to travel, I get to meet all these people, I get to, do all the cinematography, and it was pure dream. And then like what would happen is I would meet people as I was traveling, and they'd be like budding filmmakers in these countries, and they'd say, can I shadow you? I want to learn to do what you're doing. I want to have opportunities to do these kinds of stories. And that just sort of haunted me year after year after year. And then we just started to shift our filmmaking practice at Skoll Foundation to, instead of me doing all the filming, or hiring other like American, white males to come and do all this travel. Like, let's find talent in country that speak the same language, that are closer to these communities, to be the people behind the camera to do that. So with that, it's meant I'm doing less travel. These other folks are getting these incredible introductions to help tell these stories, and we can make more films that are sort of focusing on these solutions and local heroes.
Absolutely. What a great gift of like paying it forward too.
Yeah.
So that these people that are in these countries, and we'll talk about that, to be able to see their lives and what message they want to give to the world.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
There's sort of a standard in how filmmaking in the development, philanthropy funder, change makers sector often works, of like bringing in these filmmakers from the West, from Europe, from the US.
Right.
And it just felt like what's a small way we could start to shift that. And so we created this program of the Solution Storytelling Project, and first year was 19 filmmakers in Africa doing 19 films about local change-making organizations. Then we just wrapped up 16 films across Latin America, 2 of which are playing here tomorrow. And then we're about to launch 16 films across Asia.
That is fantastic.
Each different filmmakers, different organizations. So each one's a short documentary focused on solutions. I think there's so many things that are wrong in the world, and we want solutions. Like, who are the people on the ground doing the daily work, organizing, fighting power, protecting their lands?
And you want to highlight them because they're on the frontier of their life and in their villages doing the work. I love that, Gabriel. That's so important that you're doing that. It's called Solutions Inside Out Project?
Yeah, the hashtag is Solutions Inside Out. The project is called the Solution Storytelling Project. Okay. And it's about 16 organizations, social entrepreneur organizations, doing work around protecting climate, improving health systems, global health systems, and education, especially girls' education, girls' empowerment.
I love that.
Those are sort of our main anchor issues that we've been diving into.
Well, let's talk about a couple of them. The first one that stood out to me is called The Congress. That was in Indonesia. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about that film.
So every 5 years in Indonesia, there's this massive gathering of all the Indonesian tribes, and there's thousands of them. And they get together for this in like a stadium, and they take over this whole area. to do this deliberative democracy process around what are the biggest issues that we're facing and how do we unite to address them. And so it's things like mapping these territories that are like, they've been their territories for thousands of years, but there's no legal recognition of that. So how do we organize to and use the latest tools so that we can document this is actually our territory, so we can be recognized by governments and to get the protection that we're constitutionally guaranteed but have not actually been getting in order to keep extractive industries out. Things like that. So it's fascinating to see all the incredible diversity of these tribes.
I know, it was
together.
so wonderful to see them. I was wondering, what universal language do they speak?
Yeah.
Do they have a language that they all can relate to, or?
I mean, I think that
They must have something.
On the sort of village level,
Yeah.
I bet you there's a lot of
Translations
happening, but at the leader level, those folks often will speak, English or Indonesian, so they'll have that.
It was very impressive.
The translation's got to be pretty interesting over there.
I bet.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next one. It's Arubara.
Arubara, yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that one.
So this is documenting it's through a collaboration with an organization called Blue Ventures. And they have this model that they've helped create around ocean conservation, but not in the sort of like typical, we're going to leave it alone, don't touch it kind of way, because that just doesn't work for communities that rely on the ocean to survive. Like you can't grow food there, you need the fish. But they've been having these issues of overfishing because the trawling companies are coming nearby and decimating their fishing grounds. So Blue Ventures has created this model where if you take like one small, like 1 square kilometer and leave it alone and don't touch it for a year or 6 months, the fish and plants living there will replenish really fast, amazingly fast. So you close off one area and then open it up and fish there, you could actually have way more than if you just fish everywhere equally. And so it's about this sort of these communities are learning these fishing techniques to protect their ocean and also to just basically have more livelihood, more food to eat.
Exactly. And so that whole idea of giving it a rest so that nature can kind of, again, get us out of the way and let nature do its magic of restoring, and then things can kind of go back into the flow. I love that story so much.
Yeah, and it's just, the communities along these coasts need to organize with each other, trust each other.
They have to trust each other
and
coordinate.
Keep each other in check and all of that. And so it's hard, but it's also it's sort of a win-win sort of a situation where it benefits everybody and it benefits the ocean and it benefits the fish.
And it benefits everybody. It's like a win-win-win.
Yeah.
All right, how about Mancolona?
Mancolona is a collaboration with an organization called Witness.
Okay.
That is a global organization, and they focus on using technology, specifically like cameras, to document human rights abuses and environmental abuses, and in order to bring about justice. And so they work in a lot of different environments, and in this one it's in Mexico, and it's in sort of like the Mayan jungle,
right?
And next to a bioreserve that used to be like it's being threatened again, like everything else, by extractive industries. And there's a young indigenous man who's learning these tools, learning camera work, learning editing, learning webcasting in order to help tell the stories, to document what's happening in his community, to have it protected.
It was fun to watch him like try to do a drone and the game trap cameras, and I mean just using technology to tell his story was really charming and sweet and tender.
Yeah,
it was a great story.
I mean, there's technology is like part of the demise of what's happening, and yet it can be, without this mic, I wouldn't be able to tell this story.
Exactly,
so
Gabriel.
All of this, so let's put it into the hands of the people who are closest to where these challenges are happening, so that they can tell those stories.
And I don't want to give. I want to tell a little bit about Soaking the Ground in Brazil. Tell us a little bit about that one. That was an amazing film, too.
So this is a part of the Amazon rainforest that's sort of been kind of decimated. And so it's at threat of desertification.
Right.
And so the communities who still live there and are trying to survive are going through this dry season that they haven't had before. And how do they survive and adapt. And so there's a basic technology of like digging these big holes and
capturing the rainwater,
so that it stays there, so the water stays in the area, so that they can plant, so they can drink, so they can sustain themselves. So it's a process in that, and it's a sort of an observational documentary of what's it like to live in this area, and then how does it shift to have had this new tool. So it's sort of a lifeline for them.
Well, congratulations on all 4 of them. They are magnificent. Tell us when they're screening here at the Wild and Scenic.
They're in 4 different blocks, all tomorrow. There's the community block and the Fight the Power block.
Yes.
And the ocean block and the farming block.
Wow.
So I'm so excited to get to experience the other films that are, the diversity of stories that are being told here and shared here it's really inspiring.
Well, thank you so much for coming, and just keep on coming because what you're doing is fantastic.
Thanks so much, Kimberly.
Yeah. So this is Gabriel Diamond, 4 amazing films right here at Wild and Scenic. Let's give him a big round of applause. Thank you, Gabriel. And we'll see you. Of course. And we love it. And we'll be back in just a minute with our next guest here at the Media Lounge. Stay tuned.